Hero of the Seas will be the name of the fourth ship in Royal Caribbean's revolutionary Icon class of ship, and it seems like there's a lot of changes and she could be bringing in a new era of icons. Welcome back to another video, or welcome. My name is Brandon. If you're new to the channel, we do first look videos just like this. We even go out to the ports. We watch cruise ships leave live every single weekend, and even ship tours and cruise logs as well. So we have a variety of different cruise content here for you. So definitely hit that subscribe button if you like cruise videos. And of course, let me know that you enjoyed today's video by hitting that like button down below. But without further ado, let's go ahead and hop right into today's video. So over the last several years, we've been getting an icon just about every year. And of course, this year we're getting Legend of the Seas, the third ship in the icon class. And each of the three have been almost identical. The only difference really between Icon and Star is that there's a hot tub right outside the AquaDome Marketplace. With Legend, there are a few differences, and there's actually a video that I just put out recently that shows a few of the differences that we see on board that ship, whether it's a two-story casino to the Legend station of Royal Railway and several other changes. But with Hero of the Seas, it definitely seems like we're getting many, many more and actual structural changes to the ship to accommodate some of these new features. So first off, we do want to get the itineraries out of the way. The itineraries for Hero of the Seas will be 7-night Eastern and Western Caribbean itineraries from the Port of Miami. She will be directly replacing the Icon of the Seas that currently does Eastern and Western 7-night itineraries from Miami. She's scheduled to go around the same time she's leaving Miami and going over to Galveston, Texas. And then right after that, Hero of the Seas will be arriving and making her big debut in the Port of Miami. Now, at the time of releasing this video, they don't have the itineraries released just yet, so we don't know specific destinations, but we can pretty much assume that if Icon is leaving, she's going to take over very similar itineraries, maybe one or two new stops here and there. But for the most part, we'll be visiting Coco Cay, Cozumel, Costa Maya, Roatan, St. Kitts, St. Thomas, places like that. So there's going to be relatively the same itineraries from the Port of Miami for Hero of the Seas compared to what we have right now with the Icon. But with the itineraries out of the way, she will be making her big debut in August of 2027. So summer 2027, we'll be getting fourth edition to the Icon class. And as I mentioned in the intro, there are many changes coming to Hero of the Seas. So let's go ahead and break down all of the new things that we're going to be finding on board this amazing ship, including a stateroom that I just cannot believe that's even on board a cruise ship. It's just mind-blowing to me. One of the main highlights of the Icon class is the Hideaway. It's the adults-only area in the back of those ships. It has an infinity pool that is suspended 10 decks above the one below it. So it's really, really cool to have back there. Again, this is an adults-only area. There is a little bit of stadium seating. That way you can grab yourself a lounge chair and enjoy the wake views, or you can enjoy the wake views from the infinity pool, or even grab yourself a drink over at the bar. The big change that's coming here is that there's actually going to be the addition of a swim-up bar to the Hideaway as well. So that's going to be a huge change, and it's going to be the largest swim-up bar at sea. And it even has a in-pool DJ studio, which is interesting. So they're going to have the live music like they do with most typical pools on some of these cruise ships, especially the main pool areas. So that's going to be one of the biggest changes, and it actually is a structural change to the ship because they are redesigning that new deck. So you'll actually be able to walk down the center in between the two. They're going to have on your, so if you're facing the starboard side of the ship or the right-hand side of the ship and facing towards the main bar that's there in the Hideaway, you're going to have the swim-up bar to your left and the infinity pool to your right, which is really, really neat. So that's going to be one of the biggest changes that we're going to see to the Hideaway. And again, it's going to be a whole new revamp to the area, which was already extremely popular. And I think that will actually make it a little bit better because the Hideaway with the infinity pool right now on these Icon ships, it does get very crowded because of how great and how popular it is. So by putting in this swim-up bar here as well, you're going to take a lot of people that are hanging out in that infinity pool and you'll disperse them over to the swim-up bar instead. So you'll kind of get a nice little split in between the two, and hopefully that helps with a little bit of crowd control and crowd management here in the Hideaway. Again, it's one of the most popular venues on board these ships, so it's probably for the best that we're getting a little bit of crowd management and a new feature and a new venue here in the Hideaway. Coconut Cove is the next area that actually is brand new here on board Hero of the Seas. I'm still getting used to saying that. I almost said Legend. But Hero of the Seas, right outside of the AquaDome Marketplace. That was the big change with Star, is that there was a hot tub sitting right outside of AquaDome Marketplace. But here on board Hero, we're getting an entire pool a massive, massive pool that's actually going to overlook down into Central Park down below, which is a really neat feature as well. There's not a whole lot of new features coming with Coconut Cove, but again, that huge new pool there is going to be a massive feature. And Hero of the Seas is going to have 9 different pools on board, which is the most out of any ship ever. These Icon class ships always break records when they come out, and Hero is going to be no exception to that. She's going to be breaking more records than ever. Speaking of the AquaDome Marketplace, we don't have any official menus or venues that we're going to find inside there, but typically they do change a few of them in the AquaDome Marketplace. So it's a very, very popular venue on all of the Icon class ships, and they typically do make 1 or 2 changes to the offerings and the menus that we have in there. So expect some changes, but those changes will probably be announced at a later date. Skimming towards the back of the ship again, we're right outside of the Hideaway. We have the Category 6 Waterpark, another one of the Icon class favorites, and the largest water park at sea is now getting a refresh and an upgrade. Featuring the first ever funnel water slide at sea. I'm not exactly sure what makes it a funnel slide compared to the other one. It's got that leaf kind of design similar to what we see on the first 3 Icon ships, where it has that green leaf that kind of swings you out over the side a little bit, but now it's kind of more a triangular shape and it's a blue slide as well, so that's pretty cool. So the slides are getting also some new colors, similar to what we're getting on Legend with the new color change, as Icon and Star are pretty much the exact same colors and everything. But new slide colors, and we're also getting that new funnel slide. Royal Caribbean actually did say in one of their press videos releasing whenever they announced Hero of the Seas is that they want to spend more time on the actual slide itself. They're almost too short, but they wanted to spend more time on the actual slide enjoying the fun. So some of these water slides are actually getting even longer as well. The matte racing slides are getting a revamp as well, as those 2 are actually racing slides. They're 2 different tracks basically, and they'll twist around and go around over the side of the ship a little. Those are actually getting a section where it's open air instead of going through the tube, so you won't have anything above you. Essentially, you'll go down almost like a traditional slide, which is a huge change that they're making to those ones. So lots of really cool things coming to the Category 6 water park here on board Hero of the Seas in the summer of 2027. Another one of the crazy new features is going to be the Ultimate Family Treehouse. This is a suite that spans 3 different decks, including a rooftop terrace that overlooks the swim and tonic bar, and kind of in that corner where the swim and bar is on the forward section of the ship by swim and tonic. So if that stays in place, they didn't confirm or deny that that was still staying there, but swim and tonic is also another swim up bar. So we can almost assume that we're going to have 2 different swim up bars, which is crazy. But back on topic, the Ultimate Family Treehouse is an absolutely insane looking suite, similar to the townhouse that's in the back of the ship down by Surfside. Spans 3 different decks, but it's going to have the rooftop terrace, a large TV for, family time, movie watching, gaming, anything you can want. There's even going to be a whirlpool up on that rooftop terrace, which is insane. So absolutely crazy looking suite there. And it can accommodate up to 12 people. I can only imagine what the price tag for this is going to be. We'll find out probably tomorrow. But the townhouse at the back of the ship is usually running anywhere between $30,000 to $40,000 for a full week. So I can assume this probably is going to be either equivalent or maybe just a little bit more, which is insane to think about for a room on board a ship. And just another few things that we're going to find on board Hero of the Seas. These are kind of Icon class favorites, or of course changes that we're going to see on Legend as well. But Hero Station Royal Railway is going to make its big debut on board Hero of the Seas. This is the 2nd time we're going to find this on board an Icon class, as Royal Railway is actually making its way over to Legend of the Seas, making it the first time on the Icon class for Legend, having the Royal Railway with Legend Station, and now we're having Hero Station, so that's going to carry over. And the 2-story casino that's found on Legend of the Seas, that was one of the big changes from Star going into Legend, is that that's going to make its way over into the Hero of the Seas as well. The Overlook Lounge and the AquaDome are, of course, Icon class favorites. Those are not going anywhere. That is a Icon class staple. And, of course, the AquaDome Aqua shows. Those are absolutely incredible. They're going to be a brand new show just for Hero of the Seas. And speaking of entertainment, they also have those Broadway shows with Charlie and the Chocolate Factory on board Legend of the Seas. It was Back to the Future, the musical, on board Star, and, of course, The Wizard of Oz on Icon. So we'll get some news soon on the entertainment offerings here on board Hero of the Seas as well. So there's a lot of really awesome and exciting new changes coming to the Icon class with the big debut next year of Hero of the Seas. So we're again a little over a year from her maiden voyage in Miami in the summer of 2027. But I think the most exciting thing, at least to me, seeing from Hero of the Seas is not only the continuation of the Icon class, but the revolution of the Icon class. And again, I think this is a new era for the Icon class, as they are now taking what was great about the Icon and starting to make those changes to make it even better. I think with the beginning of Hero, we're going to start making changes here and there as we continue to progress every single iteration of the Icon class. So I think Royal Caribbean really took it personal when a lot of people said Icon and Star were carbon copies of each other, which essentially they are, and I will absolutely agree with that. But it doesn't mean they're not incredible ships by themselves. But what's good about that is by listening to that feedback, they've made a lot of incredible changes to the ship. Not only did they make a few tweaks to Legend where they could, but now they're really getting that first opportunity to start making real, true changes to these Icon ships. I think that's what's most exciting, in my point of view at least, is that Royal Caribbean is taking that feedback and growing and building on top of what was already incredible and revolutionizing it even further into the Hero of the Seas and onwards, as now we're going to have Icon 5 debuting in 2028, and there's still options for a 6th and 7th ship in the class. Will they go through with those? I would most likely say yes, or at least my best guess would be that they are going to come as well. So we could end up seeing 7 of these Icons, but let me know down in the comments, what feature on board this ship are you most excited for? Are you excited for the new swim up bar? Are you excited for the changes to the water park? Or maybe you just want the new relaxing pool? It seems like they're really shifting their focus on Hero of the Seas over to lounging and just kind of spending relaxation time on board these ships. And they're really diving further and further into that resort at sea vibe. But again, let me know down in the comments what you're looking forward to the most. Which new feature are you most excited for? And do you plan on sailing on board Hero of the Seas? If you are, make sure you get the best deal possible on your cruise on board Hero of the Seas or any ship in the Icon class or from Royal Caribbean by using that affiliate link down below in the description of this video, and book your next cruise with my friends at Cruises It, and they will make sure you get the best deal possible. I know these Icon class ships are a little on the pricey side, but they are well worth it. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching today's video. Again, my name is Brandon. If you enjoyed today's video, if you enjoy cruise content from ship spotting, live streams, even some tours and first looks, you're in the right place. Go ahead and subscribe. And again, let me know you enjoyed today's video by hitting that like button. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next one.